think we will just, from the next one, we will just continue. Yeah, I don't like this load shedding at all. It confuses me a lot.
Yes, it confuses one.
It is, and to focus your mind on everything that you need to make sure of as well during the load shedding. Yeah. Okay, so basically, we've looked at just the normal linear processes thus far. Now we go into the linear systems or equations, and with the linear equations, very similar to just the normal linear lines, but now suddenly you sit with two. So again, like we worked out in the previous one, you now basically, this is very similar to y equal to ax plus, I think for one was b, or if you sit with y is equal to mx plus c. So I think what is important with this system of equations, it is exactly the same when we started off with what is a function. So again, nearly there's so many things that they can use to describe it, but this again is straightforward, the same as in the previous work. So once again, if you need to solve that, they would need to tell you something around it, or the only thing you can do is to say, well, I can't solve it really, but I can draw you a line. Or I can tell you if, in this instance, if y is equal to 0, I can work out what x will be. So if y is equal to 0, that will go over, so then we will get that x is equal to 7. So if y is 0, x is 7, so one can represent it on a diagram. The same if x is 0, we can then say what is y. So minus 0 is the same as 0. So in this instance, it was a minus 1. So when x is 0, y is 7. And there you also then have your diagram that just goes between the lines. So nearly from the beginning part to this, again, there isn't really that big a difference. So I think that is quite important to note, that it is very similar to the first part of the work that we've done. I'm just checking if I don't have some extra cables with me. No. Okay. So the next part of it nearly is, this was, if you look at one equation, so let's look at two of them and see if you needed to solve for both of them. Then it's also easier to look at the inequalities around the equations, because that is very similar to just the normal system of equations. So if they ask us, okay, solve for x and y, and they give you these two ways to work it out, you can say that, and for me the easiest is, let's rewrite that one. I'll erase that later. So let's say 5x is y plus 1. So all that we did is I took the minus y to the other side, and then we can rewrite it again. It's 5x minus 1 is equal to y. So that is your one formula that we have rewritten. I want to do the same with the other one. So let's do it. 4x is equal to, again, y minus 1 then, in this instance. So if I want to isolate y, is equal to y. Okay, so now I can say, well, the one y is 5x minus 1. The other y is 4x plus 1, and they need to be equal because y and y will be equal. Okay, so in this instance, I will take the 4x over to that side, so it's 5x minus 4x, and on this side, it's for 1, and that will go over, so it will become positive 1. So x will be equal to 2, and then I can just replace that x equal to 2 in there. So 5 times 2 minus y give me 1. The 10 minus y gives me 1. So I've got from there minus y is equal to, and let's take the 10 to the other side. So minus 10 plus 1. So y minus y is equal to minus 9. So y will be equal to 9. Okay, so that is one way of calculating your x and your y. Another way that, all depending on how your variables look like, but what I normally like to do is to say, okay, we've got, let's see if I subtract this formula from a top one, and let's just see if anything weird pops out. So 5x minus 4x is x, minus y minus minus y, so minus y plus y is 0, and that is equal to 1 minus minus 1, which is 1 plus 1. So x is equal to 2, which is the same that we got here. And if I put it back into it, it's 4 times 2 is 8, minus y is equal to minus 1. If I do this again, minus y is equal to minus 9, which is exactly the same that I got at the other one. But it's only also because it was easy, because there was, if I said 5x minus 4x, but I only had x left. So I think that is just, in this instance, it was very easy to work with that. But there is then two ways for you to do that. And I think that is just the important message out of this one. Okay, let's continue. So again, for people listening, what we will do after the 30 minutes at 7 o'clock, we'll just go out of this meeting, just join the other one, because it's just easier for me also then to send you the free 30-minute recordings. What I will also do is I will put it on one of my YouTube channels, and I'll just share the link back in the WhatsApp group as well. So I will do that later this evening after all the power is back on again. So I'll just then share the free YouTube videos with you guys. Also, please just watch out if we don't get to everything tonight, that I will set up another session or check-in for tomorrow evening around the same time. I've just seen there's been a few of the simple and compound interest examples that was sent through, so I think we will look at that also tomorrow night if we don't get to everything tonight. Okay, so linear inequalities, very similar to what we did with linear equations. You get a formula. The only difference is what is happening. So instead of a equal sign, you have a bigger than, smaller than, bigger or equal to. So that's the only difference that comes into play. And I think that is just important. So we will now look at some of your there's three examples that we will look at, which I thought this one is nearly very similar to one that I had. So I thought let's replace it with one you shared. This one I thought was very interesting, because this is not the normal type of question, but now one can see they've merged nearly this topic with the first topic that we never really got to, so we will nearly try to catch at some point with the first bit of work that you guys also did. Okay, so let's look at this one. Let's just see if I can make it even bigger. Okay, so they give us the set of inequations or inequality, um, and everything is on a fraction. So there's a 3, there's a 5, there's a 5. So the easiest for me would be to say that I want to multiply it out. I will multiply it out by 15. So all four of them I will first multiply out, and then we can see how we can change the signs. Okay, so well, so first one, 15. So let's just put that minus still in front. So, and we've got the 3. I'll do some cancellations now. I just want all of these first to So it was okay. That was instead of I should have not just worked with 15 because that would have been so you could actually make it very simpler for yourself, and that might have been what we should have done. So one could have made it easier is to say, okay, 3 goes into 3 there and there. So instead of 15, we actually only work with 5. So multiply by 5 across and not 15. Let me just take out the 15 everywhere. That would have been okay. So let's quickly see what then was left here. So I still need to multiply by 5. So it's over 1. If I multiply by 5 here, it will be 5 times 2. Remember, there's a minus. We do that. Multiply by 5. So it's 5b plus 8 over 5. We'll do some cancellations now. And then we need to multiply the 3 by 5 as well. So that is 15. Okay, so multiply that in, we get minus 5b. Multiply that in there, get plus 5. The 5 and the 5 cancels out. So minus 2 times p is minus 2p. Minus 2 times minus 8 is plus 16. That cancels out. We sit with p plus 8 minus 15. Okay, this is going to be interesting to see which option. Okay, so let's just get all the p's on this side so long together. Minus 7p. And please, if you see any mistakes, let me know. This side 21. P on this side. That is minus 7. Okay. So let's take that, or let's rather do it the other way, that all my positives is on this side. So let's bring all the p's to this side. So you've got 7p plus p. That will be 8. And you take that to that side. So it's 21 plus 7. So it's 28. So let's see if 4 can go into there 2 times. 4 can go into there 14. 2 can go into there once. 2 can go into there 7. Okay, no, that doesn't. Where did I miss it now? just check. That was right. That was right. Minus 5p plus, so that's right. Multiply by 5, so it is minus 2p plus 16. 5, so that's 5 plus 8 minus 15, so that was right. That plus that is minus 7. That plus that is plus 21. That is correct. That minus that is that. Take that over. It becomes 28. Probably just now. So let's just make this. So that's 28. And on this side, it's 8p. So 28 divided by 8 is equal to p. Okay, so obviously 28 can't go into, or 8 can't go into 28. So please, if you pick up what I did wrong, so 14, 2 goes there into 14, and you can speak up if, okay, that is where I went wrong. Okay, then okay, so 7 over 2. Okay, so P is smaller or equal to 7 over 2, so we can write it that way, or we can write it this way. It's exactly the same answer, which will then give you that option. Just want to see what is happening with my chat as well. Okay, there's my chat. Cool. Yes. Obviously, I somehow divided wrong, but that is what you should have done. Okay, so, and it's very easy to make a simple mistake in this. So I made, just by calculation here at the end, I was very confused at some point. If you multiplied it by 15, you would have made the process longer. So nearly a learning also is to see what at the beginning one can cancel out. Okay, so let's do this one first. And what I think, can we stop this session here and then go into the next one that I have created, so that we stop at 7, we just go into the next meeting. Is that fine with you guys? Then I'll just stop recording. And I will just make sure that I'll start the recording in the other session as well. Then it is three smaller sessions that I can much easily share. So I'm gonna